Hey guys, Jason here and stopping by for another 5-minute lesson today. Today I want to talk about safety buffer. As a property investor, we always need to understand that things probably will not always go our way. As a property investor, we're expecting our properties to continue to rent out, to give us income, to go up in value and provide us with some financial choices now and into the future. But listen, the best laid plans of mice and men, the reality is not everything always goes your way, and you got to expect the best, but sometimes plan for something to go wrong, okay? And that's where a safety buffer comes in. As a property investor, you got to know your numbers on real estate. You got to be able to analyze, you got to do your calculations, and then make sure you set aside some money to cover any challenges that you might have in the future. Let me explain what that means. I've got a bit of an example I've written on the board today. All right. So let's say we're going to buy an investment property and we want to analyze some of our numbers. Now listen, for all those who are looking in today, I'm going to post my calculations from my property investment calculator in the feed so you can go and have a look so you can see how I've calculated it. Now if you want to do different incomes and types of properties and whatever, you can get yourself your own calculator and muck around with it. But you as a property investor must know your numbers and you must calculate and come up with how you are going to protect yourself if something doesn't go your way, while all the time expecting it to do what you want it to do, income, go up in value, provide some tax deductions and so on. Let's have a look at this. How does it work? All right, safety buffer. We've decided we're going to go in and buy an investment property. And we've looked at and then today I'm using a brand new house, a house and land, and I'll use a house and land package brand new for this example. Because at this point in time, that is a predominantly good property for tax deductions and also minimizing our stamp duty, but I cover that in another video. All right, we're going to go buy ourselves an investment property, $530,000 all up for that property to purchase it and renting for $500 a week, okay? To buy that property, we need around about $70,000 to buy the property, a 10% deposit. We need stamp duty. We're going to borrow at 90% loan to value ratio. We'll need to pay some lender's mortgage insurance. We'll have some legals and some other bits and pieces. So around about $70,000 to buy this investment property. Okay, and where do we get that from? Most people will be using equity that they have in their existing principal place of residence. So we've got $100,000 in our deposit account, and we use some of that money to buy the property. Okay, we've got $30,000 left over in that account, and we also have an offset account set up. Now, if you don't know what I mean by the deposit account and offset account, go and check out one of our other videos when it comes to lending and leverage. But today I'm going to talk about calculating your buffer. The investment property, we've purchased the investment property. It rents for $500 a week. We have some tax deductions and depreciation because it's brand new. And before tax, which means you haven't claimed any of your tax deductions back, the property is negative $5,380. And when you claim your taxes back, it is now positive $3,826. Now you can claim your taxes weekly, fortnightly and monthly in your pay, so you don't have to wait till the end of the year to get your cash flow going. And that's one of the things that we help our property investors do. Claim your taxes weekly, fortnightly, monthly. Don't leave it till the end of the year, okay, as you go along. Now then, how do you calculate a safety buffer in this situation when we're talking about number one? We might call it sleep at night factor, all right? Sleep at night factor. Number one, how do we calculate a buffer? My calculations are, I always have a look at your negative cash flow pre-tax and at least 1 year's worth of negative cash flow pre-tax put aside in an account or accessible cash that you can use to cover any problems or challenges in that way. Now, where do we have at least $5,380? Right now, we've got that in our deposit account. We've got $30,000 there. So you have access to that number of dollars and cents. Now, for some people, they want to be a little bit more conservative. Put 2 years in there, 1 to 2 years, no more than 2 years of negative cash flow pre-tax. Okay, that would be $10,000. Okay, awesome. So you've got 2 years worth of negative cash flow pre-tax tucked away, and you always got to have that accessible. And now this is how you would calculate if you had 2 or 3 or 4 properties, you don't go any lower than your buffer amount that you've calculated. So if this is your $5,000 and you've got 4 properties, you need accessible $20,000. If you've got 2 properties and your buffer account is $10,000, you need 2 properties. $20,000 for 2 properties. So there you go, guys. Understand, you never, ever, ever take all your money and just put it into the property and don't have anything left over for covering any things that might go wrong. That's a safety buffer. It's really important. So number 1, you've got to have a safety buffer. Know how to calculate that. I always do 1 to 2 years of negative pre-tax negative cash flow on the property. And if it's positive cash flow, then I still put some aside. No problem, because you never know what can go wrong. Always, 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 always have insurance, and the best insurance possible. Landlord's insurance, rent cover, damage, and so on. And always get yourself an awesome, amazing property manager. Those are the 3 things that can help you sleep at night. And as a property investor, we're always hoping for the best, but you've got to plan for the worst, and always put some aside in your safety buffer to cover any unforeseen things that might not go your way. Hopefully that was a good lesson today, guys. As always, if you want to know more, reach out to one of the coaches or come along to one of our nights and to find out how we can help you as a property investor maybe a little bit more. All right, take care and bye for now.